It's like we're zombies walking, and our stance is anti-injustice, which is beautiful. But then we don't go deeper because we're illiterate, or we don't want to be illiterate, right? We don't want to say, hey, the West is behind this, and they're like, I don't want to hear.
You worked on what you call Nassim resistance.
Yes.
So what does that mean exactly?
One of the things that I'm trying to focus on these days is to actually remind people, well, because they don't like it when you say, let's open this knot in your knowledge of resistance, right? So it's very, very organic, the smears that happen. Some of them are very much organized. Some of them are by Israel or Iranian-funded opposition. But some of it is also very organic, like the response. People don't like it. And the reason is because, and I'm generalizing on purpose here, it's a very particular and deliberate generalizations. Iranians are very anti-injustice. Okay. They take pride in that. Siding with Imam Hussein is one sign, and siding with women who are against the police brutality is another sign, right? They are anti-injustice, they take pride in it. And this kind of like general attitude towards injustice, when it becomes this predominant, and when it is this much predominant, and if it is not dissected and analyzed, it becomes very dangerous because it's co-optable by the West. So one of the knots that I look at is sort of like, look at this. Can we resist wrong? And believe it or not, the first attempt for having me fired was just because of a talk I gave on pinkwashing, where I just posed the question, can we resist wrongly? Are there wrong ways to resist? And can we harm the very people we're resisting for by the wrong form of resistance? And that is why I have 9,000 followers, but 75 million people in Iran hate me because they think that I'm with the government. Just because I questioned the stance of anti-injustice, we need to examine this. And the reason why I focus on this, first of all, it's co-optable. The other thing, it's very sad to have, it's a very contradictory stance to be this much anti-injustice, but to be this much illiterate on history and geography and politics. I was one of them. So I know the level of illiteracy that goes into trying to maintain just being angry at the local oppressing power. It's like we're zombies walking, and our stance is anti-injustice, which is beautiful. But then we don't go deeper because we're illiterate, or we don't want to be illiterate, right? We don't want to say, hey, the West is behind this, and they're like, I don't want to hear. Am I Eurocentric? Yes. Am I lazy in thinking? Maybe. But that's something that I work on in Knots of Resistance. I really look and dissect how there are wrong forms of resistance that can eventually lead to the mass suffering of Iranians.